Hey students, I think we are recording. So I just wanted to make a video to make sure that everyone understood what was going on. So for those of you that are a little confused this week, hopefully this will help you. I'm going to make a couple announcements and then I'm going to actually take my phone and share my screen with y'all so I can show you some of the different apps that you can use and how they work. So hopefully that will clear up some confusion for most of you. Just so you know, term 4 has started. It started yesterday, and so that means that new grades are happening from your classes and your teachers. So make sure that you're checking your teachers' websites, that you're responding to their communications, and that you are turning in work. Now, your different teachers are going to approach this slightly differently. So you need to kind of get in contact with all of them and make sure that you know what's going on. For those of you that are seniors, you want to make sure that you are turning in your work before May 1st. So that means like turn it in as soon as possible, because the sooner you turn it in, the sooner it gets graded, the sooner that your teachers can communicate with your guidance counselors. For everyone else, it's best if you have it done before May 1st as well. Right now, the official word is that we are out at least until April 30th. So you want to make sure that you're getting your work turned in and you're not blowing off this stuff, because it does affect your grade and it does affect whether or not you're getting credit for the class. Some of the confusion, I think, has come from the fact that there are printed out packets at school, but then your teachers are also asking you to do stuff. So what we've been told and what I have done for you is that the packet that is printed off and sitting at the high school is the exact same work that I'm putting online. So if you have a packet that you picked up from the high school, it is not going to be any different than what I am putting on Google Classroom for you. The difference is that on Google Classroom, you get immediate feedback, you get a little bit more instruction, you have a little bit easier access to me, and you have a pacing guide from me of when I'm going to put in grades for those assignments. If you picked up a packet, you're going to work through it at your own pace. You're going to look through the materials and use those materials to answer the questions in the assignment portion in the back of it. The directions are right there on the cover, so read the cover. And then when you were done with the packet, you would take that back to the school. If you picked up a packet but you would rather turn things in digitally, then that is fine with me. So I have a couple students that have gotten the packet from the school already, but they are using Google Classroom to take a picture of their work after they finished it, and they're uploading it so I can grade it and still give them immediate feedback on that assignment. Either thing is fine. What we're trying to do as your teachers is we're trying to make this as easy as possible. This is not something any of us planned on doing, so we're just trying to make things accessible for everyone. The reason we did packets at all is so that students who do not have access to the internet or do not have a device where they can get on the internet can still do the work and can still get credit for class. So you're not asked to do each assignment twice, either turn in a physical packet or turn in things digitally so that you can get credit for the high school class. So the next thing I want to share with y'all is some apps that I feel like will make distance learning easier. So I'm going to share my phone screen with you right now. Bear with me as I get that. All right, and in just a second, you should be able to see the screen of my phone. Okay, so what I have right here is a folder I put together for y'all with distance learning apps. So what these apps are for is helping you learn from home. These should already be things that you might have, probably not all of them, but some of them you already have through the school. Your teachers have asked you to download them or whatever. And then if you have not downloaded them, do not feel like you have to. I just feel like it is helpful. You can access most of these things through your computer as well. I usually access them through my computer just because it's bigger and it's easier to see everything, but you can absolutely use them on your phone. I personally, as a teacher, have picked all these apps because they're free and because you can use them on your phone or the computer. All right, so if you look right here, I've got Google Classroom, Remind 101, Zoom Meetings, Gmail, Powerschool, Google Docs, and Quizlet. So let me just kind of talk about the ones that are easy to talk about. Let's talk about Quizlet first. Quizlet, you don't have to have Quizlet, but a lot of your teachers send out study sets through Quizlet. I've seen some of my students access them through their web browser on their phone, but I feel like the app is much easier to navigate and nicer to look at. So if you wanted to study or if you wanted to make your own flashcards on your phone, Quizlet is a great way to do that. Another app that is very helpful is Powerschool. That is how your teachers enter grades. So we have a separate program called Power Teacher, and when we enter grades online, you see them in Powerschool. You get notifications when your grade changes. So if you have not downloaded this app already, you definitely need it, distance learning or not. So make sure that you have Powerschool. You should have gotten a letter from the guidance counselors towards the beginning of the school year or towards the beginning of your freshman year that explained Powerschool, told you how to log on, and gave you an actual code to access it. So if you threw that letter away and you did not sign up for Powerschool, you're going to have to contact the guidance counselors and wait to see if they can get that to you. So I really hope all of you have already signed up for Powerschool. The next app directly above Powerschool is Remind. So Remind 101, a lot of you have sent in a text to that phone number 81010, which is like everyone in the school has the same number. And then you put like @ and then whatever code the teacher's class had. If you have like deleted those or whatever, it is a really good idea to get back into Remind. So whatever teachers you have that use Remind, they're probably using it a lot right now. I know I am. And then every once in a while I get an email from a kid who has no idea what's going on. It's because they are not getting my Remind messages, usually because they deleted it. If you're getting Remind messages through your texts, that is fine. If that works for you, great. If you want to download the Remind app, it puts everything in that app together. I personally like it as a teacher so that the notifications for Remind make a different noise than the notifications for my texts, but you do not have to use this app. And then the other 3 apps here, Google Classroom, Gmail, and Google Docs, those are all connected to Google accounts. So I'm going to show you that just to show you how easy it is. And then Zoom Meeting is one of those apps that a lot of your teachers are probably starting to use. That is how the staff has been doing faculty meetings, so we don't have to get all in the same room together. And so I know this is something I've used to meet with my students, but this is also something that I'm using to do live office hours. So I think that confused some of y'all as well. I am not teaching lessons live because I don't think that that is fair to all my students, because if they are busy or if they don't have a device at that moment, they will not be able to access Zoom at that time. So I am using Zoom like right now to record this. I'm using Zoom from 11 to 1, Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that if students want to drop in and ask me a question, they can. You just click on the link. If you have the app, it takes you directly to a waiting room, and then I get a little notification that you're there. I finish up talking to whatever student I'm talking to, and then I talk to you. It's one-on-one. For the most part, I mean, unless like, you know, I'm talking to 2 art students in the same class at the same time, then I might put both of them on at the same time. But it's a good way to ask questions or get critiques on your artwork. And some of your other teachers might be using that as well. All right, so let's look at the Gmail app. And let's go ahead and create an account. So this might be a little bit awkward if it doesn't like the email that I'm trying to use. So what I want to do is click sign in and then click on Google and say yes, that's okay, continue. All right, you can tell I've done this a couple times. So I've got several different emails there, but I'm going to click use another account to show you how easy it is to make an account. So I'm going to click create an account for myself to make a new account. Then I'm going to tell it my name. And then hit next. Then go ahead and tell it your birthday. Google wants to know everything about you, you know. And then it's going to suggest some different emails to you. I tried earlier when I was playing with this to see if I could like make my own Gmail address, and I kept trying to do art student and it did not like that. So I'm just going to go with these suggested ones, but I'm going to write it down so I remember what it was. So I'm going to go with Karen Cross 8. write that down so I don't forget, and then hit next. Okay, then I'm going to put in a password. And then hit next. And then it's going to ask you to add your phone number. I hit skip, and then I just said, yes, we're good. Agree to the privacy terms. And then you should be in your Gmail account. You can use different emails. Yeah, see, it did this to me last time too. But I feel like it's easier if you just have a Google account. See, it does have it on my phone. Okay, then what I'm going to do is go into Google Docs really quickly because I want to spend more time in Google Classroom. So when I go to Google Docs and click sign in, it's going to remember that I just made a Gmail account, and I can just say, yes, I would like to continue as Karen. Don't even have to put my email in again, and then I'm in Google Docs. And this is a free way, like if you don't have Microsoft Word and you want to make documents, you can use this. I can hit the plus sign down here and then either choose a template. And look at all these pretty little templates that I can use. There's a science lab report. It's going super slow. But I can use things like that to type in work, turn things into my teachers. Or what I like it for is if I send my students work in a Google Doc, then they can just edit it on their phone and then email it back to me or send it back to me on Google Classroom. And then that's like a really easy, free way for you to do work on your phone. So if you don't already have a Google Docs account, I really highly suggest that you get one. Most of my upperclassmen already use it for things like writing papers. So this is definitely worth your time to download this app. All right, the next app that I want you to look at is Google Classroom. So if you look, when I go into Google Classroom, it already has the account that I just created in there. So I can tap it, and then I'm gonna say get started. And then what I'm gonna do is hit this little plus sign down at the bottom that says create or join your first class, sorry. So when I click on that, it's going to say, do I want to join or create? You're going to join. So I'm going to click join class, and then I'm going to type in the class code. So I have right here in front of me 2 different class codes. Let me try one of them and see if it works. So the code for ceramics is CGJSD. Okay, so I'm going to hit join and see if that is going to work for me. All right, so I am now in ceramics. So when I go into ceramics, the stream is kind of confusing, and I think that's where some of you are getting thrown off. So what I would do is read the announcements. So let's see what Ms. Cross said to us. She said, assignments are due on the due date listed to the right in the classwork tab. Grades will be entered on Powerschool following that due date. All coursework for seniors is due before May 1st. All coursework for underclassmen is due before May 11th. Err on the side of safety and just get it all to your teachers by May 1st. Just saying that. All right, and then it says everything is in Google Classroom for Ceramics 2 except for the assessment, at the end. That will be posted later, and a Remind 101 announcement sent out. Grading for Term 4 starts Monday. That was posted April 3rd, so grading started yesterday. Please note that everything posted here is exactly the same thing that is in the printed packet at school. Okay, so I went over that with y'all, but you can read it again right there in Google Classroom. All right, now the easiest thing to do, and this is what I recommend, is go at the bottom of the screen. Do you see how it says stream classwork and people? Click on classwork, and then everything is organized for you. So I've gotten a lot of questions this week about like, what lesson do I do? Like, do I do this one as well? When is it due? Blah, 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 blah. Look right here. It has broken down for you week 1 lessons, week 2 lessons, week 3 lessons, and it keeps going all the way down to week 5. All right, so if you go back up here to the top, this is week 1. So you want to do lesson 1, 2, and 3. And underneath each one, it says lesson 1, ceramics 2, vocabulary, and then it says due April 10th at midnight. So you now know what lesson you need to do and when it's due. I made it where all 3 assignments were due on Friday. I'm not expecting you to do all of them Friday. I'm expecting you to kind of like work on them over the week. And then if you turn them in Thursday, great. If you turn in one Monday, one Wednesday, and one Friday, like whatever works for you, I'm trying to be flexible. All your teachers are trying to be flexible and accommodating. So that is why you're given a little bit of freedom there. What I want you to do is look with me right here. If I touch lesson 1, it's going to take me to lesson 1, and that is where things like start happening. So if I click on lesson 1, you can comment there if you want to. I don't really need the comments. What you want to do is like add your work. So what you want to do, like you can say like, oh, I love vocabulary, but what you want to do is read the directions. So for this one, lesson 1 rooms 2 vocabulary, it's worth 100 points. That's how many points it's going to be in the grade book. And then it says copy the vocabulary from the vocabulary presentation. And then you can copy the vocabulary directly into your sketchbook, write it on a sheet of paper, or print the handout and fill it in like we would in class. So if you have a printer at home and you like worksheets, all the worksheets are uploaded here for you. This is what I have done. I like my students to put everything in their sketchbook so they're not losing their work. So if you have your sketchbook, use your ceramic sketchbook for all these assignments and just do your work in there on that paper. Just make sure at the top of the paper you're writing what assignment you're working on so I can see it. And so when you turn it in, if it accidentally gets, posted on the wrong thing or whatever, I know what you were doing. Also, make sure that if you are not using a printed handout, that you are numbering your responses so I know like what question number you were trying to answer. So that's one thing that is a little bit different. Like us teachers are so used to giving you handouts, we haven't really told you how to like set up pages. So for me, if you will just write the title of the assignment and then write a number, down the side for the questions that you're answering, that should help me out a lot when I'm grading. Then it says this will be assessed in the future. It's going to be on the test. Then if you look underneath that, there are attachments. That's what you need to click on. So if you click on the vocab, that is a PDF of all the vocabulary words. You can just look directly at this PDF and copy it. I typically use it in class to print out for students as a study guide. If you want to write on it, look at that. There's a little thing right there. You can edit it. That's how a lot of students have been doing work for me. All right, if I go back out of that, this is the worksheet. So this is what I usually would print out in class for you. If you want to print it out and fill it in right there, that's fine. But like I said earlier, you can write it on a blank sheet of paper. The paper in your sketchbook is blank, so you can use that. Not asking you to get separate paper, but if you don't have that sketchbook, then just use a sheet of copy paper or notebook paper or whatever you have at home. All right, then this last thing right here is the actual PowerPoint that I would show in class. Now I have tried to make sure that the directions are more clear because I'm used to talking over the PowerPoints. So since I'm not able to do that, just kind of look, it's got the title slide. This is art that we would look at in class. There's all the terms, and then there are your definitions right there. So right here is the information I'm wanting you to copy onto that worksheet or into your sketchbook. If you want to download it, you can click the little arrow and download it to your phone. This would be similar if you're working on a computer. It just looks slightly different with how it's laid out, but you've got the same little buttons and whatnot. All right, once you're done with that and you've done some work, you can add attachment. So what I've been suggesting is if you take a picture of your work, you can add that. So you would click the little add attachment button and then you would submit it. All right, so what you want to do is if you have an assignment where you just want to type in your answer, most of my assignments are a little bit too long for that, but for Visual Art 2, I've been using this a lot. You can add a private comment. So you can just do a comment, type it in, hey, and don't just send me hey, send me your answer, and then you can just send the private comment and then I get it. What you can do instead of that is you can add attachments, and if you look right here at the menu that comes up, you have all kinds of options. So if you're using something else, you have the options to bring those in here, but you can also use your camera or you can pick a photo. So if you've already taken a picture, you would obviously go to pick photo. If you want to upload your work right there. You're sitting there with your, completed work in front of you. If you just type use camera, and then you tell them, okay, please don't make me go to another app. There you go. And then just take a picture of your work. You like my picture? And then send that. Then you can send it. And then it will upload that, and then it will send it to your teacher. So I'm going to get a really weird assignment for myself. But if you wanted to, you could upload an assignment like this. You could upload a Google Doc like this. And then you can also, instead of just saying something silly, you can say something like, is this everything I need to turn in for lesson 1? All right, so then that is a very helpful comment. Maybe you have a question, maybe you need feedback, and then you can send that so I get both things when you turn in your assignment, and I can grade the assignment. I can also send it back to you based on what you asked. So if you have a question about assignment, this is a great way to communicate with me. So that's why I've been using this. After you've done all that, make sure you click turn it in. And then I get a notification on my end. Sometimes it's a little glitchy and I don't get the notification until the next day, but do know this is the fastest way to get your work to me. All right, so that is pretty much it for Google Classroom. Hopefully that helps explain it. And let me go ahead and show y'all a couple other things, but if you feel good now, you can go ahead and stop the video. If you wanna watch me show you the other apps real quick, you can. All right, so Remind, if you want to use it in the app form, you would just sign up with Google. You already made that Google account, and so you can just use that and then accept. And I'm lying, I'm saying I'm a student, don't want to connect my phone. And then I can type in the code for a class. So one of my class codes is HHS, SRAM, done. And then it takes me right into the classroom, and then I can do that. Let's skip all that. All right, so look, I'm already in ceramics. I can now get all the announcements that I need from Mrs. Cross. All right, so that is mainly, you'll get announcements from me, you'll get links from me, things to help you, hopefully. All right, that is Remind. Next we have Zoom. So in Zoom, it is free and easy. I did this in about 2 minutes the first time. So you hit sign up, put your email address. You can use the same Gmail account. So let me type it in. All right, so we have my new email address that I'm gonna forget. No, I'm not, because I wrote it down. And then put in my information and sign up. Now what I'm gonna need to do is confirm. Not yet. Let me see if it'll let me go ahead and sign in without it. Okay. Maybe not. Ah, there we go. Ah, okay. So does it like my password? No. Okay, now it should like my password. All right, and then let me write that down as well so I don't forget that one. Okay, then I am good right there. All right, so anytime I want to join a meeting, I can actually just click join, and then it'll let you join. Yes, please open the app. All right, so if you want to join with the meeting ID, you can just type that in here, and then you would hit join and it would take you to the meeting. We're not going to do that right now, but it's very easy. An easier way to do it would be just to click on the link that I send out and remind if you want to join a meeting. But it's very simple. The account's made, and you can just type in the code for the meeting if you want to join that way, or you can just click the link to the meeting. Sometimes they'll ask you for a password, so if your teacher gives you a password, like make sure you write that down too. If you want to make the meeting like more private or secure, you can do it that way. All right, so that is Zoom. Let's close all these apps. And then Powerschool. So this is one, like, you're not going to be able to sign up for it if you haven't already, but you can get your district code this way if you already have the letter at home. But it's a very helpful app if you are in there. Quizlet is another one where it's very easy to sign up for free. And so I can actually just click on the Google and then tell it yes, and then I can use that same account I just created. So that's why I would really recommend using a Google account for all of these, because it just makes everything a lot easier. Let's try that. Okay, everything is taken. Ah, there we go. All right, so if I was actually going to use that, I would want to write it down, and then I want to use the free version, you want to use the free version, and then I can actually search or create. So if I want to search, I can actually search for my teacher. Search for her. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is me. So a little peacock right there, sculpture for ceramics 1, visual art, ceramics 2. There is the set right there. So when I send you a link over Remind, if you already have this app, it's just going to open the app for you, and you can access the set right there and practice right there. Aesthetics, a set of principles concerned with nature and appreciation of beauty, especially in art. All right, so hopefully that is helpful to you. That's really all I have as far as apps are concerned, but one more time, in case you missed it, write these down. You want Google Classroom, Remind, Zoom meetings, Gmail, Powerschool if you have the information, Google Docs, and Quizlet. Those are apps that I'll be using with my students, and I'm assuming several other teachers will use those as well. And if you create a Gmail account, it makes all of these other apps so much easier to use. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you are staying home and that you are being safe, and that you are healthy. And please feel free to reach out to me through email if you have any questions. My email is Karen, K-A-R-Y-N-E, _cross, C-R-O-S-S, at dcsms.org. Thank you.